Hello everybody, it's Henry the Weeder Man. So I'm getting ready to reassemble Husqvarna 451, and what I'm doing right now is I'm putting Permatex Ultra Slick on the bearing before I put it back together, and then I'm putting the seals on it. So the seals on this one look just like this. So Husqvarna 450. You have to make sure sometimes your saws, they have two different types. So you got to make sure if they do, you look at your parts before you order them. You get the wrong stuff. All right, so I've slicked up the shaft. Seal slides right on. I'm going to do this other bearing too. I just put a little squirt in there to get down in there because I don't want to start them dry, and I soaked and washed all this, right? So I got any kind of residue, varnish, any old material. I've already lubed up the shaft. So this has a little hump on it, so you got to be careful with it. I'm not going to use I do have a sleeve that goes over some of these if it's a long one or it's really prominent. But this one here, they're usually not a problem. You just take and rock it back and forth, slides right on. And you just want to make sure you didn't slip that that spring on the back, but it went good. All right, so the bearings are lubed. I already pre-lubed the cylinder. I pre-lubed the piston already. So this one here, I won't use a piston clamp on it because it's tapered. So once I stick the piston in there and I work it back and forth a little bit, it'll compress the ring and it'll slide right in. So you just got to be patient with it. You got to make sure, one, you got the exhaust pointed on the arrow on the piston. Okay, in this case, this goes towards the pin, goes towards the intake. So you got the intake, exhaust is down. Sometimes that little arrow is a tough one to see. Okay, and I got it. I'm going to make sure. Always check twice on this, just like cutting wood. Measure twice, cut once. All right, and then you take it and then slowly put it in there. Once you get it started, it will draw it in itself. You just gotta have patience with it. Get it square on there. There it goes. Use both hands. Yeah, there it'll, and the taper, and it already did it. So the taper took it, and it slid right in. Okay, and then you'll push it down in the seal scraper. Look at that, nice and smooth. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna do a video when I go do the clamshell. I'll get all my parts ready first. I always lay them out, and then I'll get ready to show you. So what I'm gonna do next is put the gasket and the clamshell on. Now this one here has little gaskets, all pre-made, and they go in the groove. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of my Permatex on it. Make sure I got a good seal. I'll put a little Permatex on my seals too, because I have, even though I said I don't need to, other people proved me wrong, and lo and behold, I had a leak. So now I've kind of put that into my normal habits. So it's a good thing to do. It just put a little bit of coating on it, help get that extra seal. Then I'll button this thing back up, and then I'll let it sit overnight, let it cure, and then the next day I'll set up for testing. I tried doing testing right away, son, and that don't always work either because your sealant is still soft, and you could suck it in or blow it out. So it doesn't always work the way you want. So I just learned that or two. You just let it wait, let it cure, work on another one. So I have another saw I'm ready to put together, and I'm going to do the same thing. Then I have two to do testing on. And I'll get the test blanks on it, and then I can roll right into it. All right, so that's the installation of the piston into the cylinder. Husqvarna 450. I hope you learned something. I hope I taught you something. Have a great day. Henry the Weeder Man out.